I was really excited because they had a signed copy of Ready Player 2 at the Mysterious Galaxies independent bookstore that I was going to pick up. But then when I looked it up online, like people just shat all over the book. So
Wow.
it really kind of, and the only copy that they had was a hardback. So I was like, I'm not going to pay like $25 plus $5 for shipping for a book that's going to be shit.
I
So really
wanted to I wanted to get the audiobook version of it, but right as I was getting into audiobooks, apparently they had changed the Ready Player One from the original author to or the original reader to Will Wheaton. And as much
Oh,
as I like him as a like host on his like tabletop game show that he was doing for a while, I cannot stand him as like an audiobook reader.
I listened to that one.
I just have issues with Will Wheaton. I
I
feel
think
like he's a
everybody
nice
does.
dude. I feel like he's a nice dude. I don't know him personally, so I can't say yay or nay to any of that shit. But he just comes off as very douchey.
Hmm.
And I just get the sense of like, I don't fucking care about you. I don't want to get to know you. I don't want to listen to you narrate a book. I just want really not much to do with you. But I'm sure he's a very nice guy.
I think what it is about Will Wheaton is he is a nice guy and he's active in his communities, but he's had to endure years and years and years of the shut up Will or
Mm,
shut up Wesley
yeah.
and all of that like fandom that comes with Star Trek and his early childhood years that
Yeah.
he's built up this crusty exterior that just kind of radiates fuck off.
I did listen to that. I didn't know he wasn't the original narrator for the audiobook Ready Player One, but I listened to his version and yeah, I like the story, but it's it's some sort of undefinable quality of his voice, like his intonation of the way he says things. It just that's the only way I can describe it. It sounds douchey.
The
Like it sounds
inflections that he makes.
yeah, the inflections that okay, maybe here's why. Because one of the like major things that me and Meg watched him in way back in the day was The Guild, where he played a douchebag, like the leader of the rival guild, yeah, who came along, and he was
like kilt and everything.
yeah,
You know?
that was his character was
Tactical.
yeah, it was the ultra douche, and everything in the way he speaks was like with its sounds with the intention that I am above you, you are beneath me, blah blah blah, snarky snark snark. And I thought, oh, okay, that's the character.
When did Will get on the podcast? What the hell?
But then listening to the audiobook for Ready Player One, it's the exact same voice. That's just his voice. He could be like helping an old lady across the street, but it's going to sound like a douchebag. You have a great day, ma'am. Oh, God.
But yeah, so all in all, like I was really excited about Ready Player 2 because I genuinely loved the first book. I also enjoyed the film, even though I was fucking high as balls for it. But
I think
thanks
you
to
had to
you.
be.
Yeah.
But
Thanks to 3 gummy bears.
Yeah.
That's what.
but yeah, I'm like, I want to read the book, so I'm just gonna rent it from the library for free. That way I don't have to pay money for it. But yeah, I highly recommend Fiend. That was a really fun one. If you want a bunch of crack addicts trying to escape a zombie apocalypse. The only thing that was kind of a bummer with the way it was written is there's no quotation marks around any of the conversations. So it's kind of trippy trying to figure out what is narration and what is being spoken. But eventually you learn
You work it out.
Yeah, who's saying what, and it doesn't really bother you so much towards the end of the book because
Was that maybe intentional since they're all crackheads? So maybe some of this conversation's happening in their heads?
Perhaps,
that
yeah.
sounds unnecessarily complicated. Is this The Witcher or Westworld season 2?
You very quickly kind of look past it though in this book. So 10 out of 10.
Okay.
Definitely recommend.
Who is that by again?
It's by Peter Stenson.
How do you?
Oh.
You ready to do this thing, Todd?
Absolutely.
Do it. Just do it.
I need you to go all super high energetic for your intro. Come on, Tony. Give it the best you do.
Okay, here we go. Loaded up on popcorn grease and whatever the hell powdered sugar I put on there. Hey everybody, welcome to the Getting Off Topic podcast. It is Sunday night. This is Tony.
This is Todd.
And Meg.
Meg is here.
Meg.
And
Sunday.
we should piece together like just shitty morning jock like sound effects. just
get a soundboard going.
Yeah, you push a button and it's just like fart sound.
Just all the good ones for this podcast. Meg, shut up, Meg, and then go get us a sandwich, Meg. Go get us a beer, Meg.
Nobody cares, Meg.
Getting Off Topic with Tony and Meg and the Toddinator.
So I was actually watching Toddinator. So I was actually watching Family Guy the other day, and at the very end of the episode, when Stewie and Brian were done with their thing, Meg walks out the front door, and she starts saying, "So today in my day," and then it just cuts her off and goes to credits.
She was not in the entire episode whatsoever. And then Brian's just like, "Oh, hey Meg, what have you been up to?" And she just like inhales, like, and then
it cuts.
Credits.
So you guys got to do that at the end of the podcast. You asked me how my day was, and then just cut out.
Yeah, exit outro music. Welcome back, everybody. It's been we didn't actually skip a week this time.
It's been a while.
It's been 1 week.
That's what I always think of when you say that.
Oh god.
Did you listen to since I listened to the god awful fucking shit you gave me on that CD, did you listen to my homework that I gave you?
No, not yet. I totally forgot.
How could you?
I forgot.
Did we talk about that on the podcast? I don't remember.
No, we didn't talk about that.
So like a few weeks back, maybe a month back now, Megan.
It was like 2 weeks ago.
Well, when we first discovered the CD.
Oh yeah, that was earlier in the month.
Meg and I went up to see some friends up in LA, and Meg just pulled out her ancient her last surviving small binder of CDs in her car. Just like, what's this? Like random mix, and it just said didn't think it even said anything. It just like a date, like a year or something on it, and pops it in, and it was Mortal Kombat.
No, it said Mortal Kombat on it.
Oh, okay, all right, that one.
But we didn't know what that meant.
Yeah,
did you give me the original one, or did you make a copy of the original one?
That was the only thing I had.
Oh god!
So you have the only copy that I owned.
So I did some research after the fact. That CD, that monstrous CD that we had you listen to, it's not the official movie soundtrack. It's a soundtrack that was promoted with the first game.
So it's a companion album to the game.
Yeah. So they did that, and which, to my surprise, I didn't know. So the theme song that everybody knows and loves, Mortal Kombat, I thought that was created for the movie, but no, they actually made that with the original game on this random little companion disc, on this companion CD soundtrack. And it's that, which is the one awesome track on it, because that's what I love.
Track 5. That's the only thing that got me through more than a couple of tracks.
Yeah,
is the actual song came on.
Yeah,
but your face, Todd, was so worth every bit of it.
So Meg and I discovered this in her car, and we're like, what the fuck is this? Because for the first 4 or so tracks before you get to the actual main Mortal Kombat theme that we know and love, it's these weird, I thought it was like some, like I was assuming like after the movie came out, this was some like weird import CD that was just a bunch of like random DJ club remixes.
It literally sounds like it's some Filipino or Indonesian karaoke, like weird, like nobody has heard of mixes.
Yeah, and with
and
this,
each song is for its own character too.
so you know that like that ridiculous the old tradition from like 80s and 90s action movies where you had like the rap song at the end credits that described the plot of the movie to you. It's like that. But they
For
just
each
take
of the
character.
characters' stories.
Yeah, so I think the first one was like, and all of them sound like the shittiest like MTV Spring Break, like just hype man, like warming up the stage before Pitbull shows up. So and the guy's like, Johnny Cage isn't afraid to die.
And that's repeated 50,000 times in a 3-minute song.
Yes. And then what? Oh,
Good Lord.
the one for Liu Kang. When it gets to the chorus, it's just some guy like droning, like half drunk into a microphone. Liu Kang, Shaolin warrior, born in China. Like, what the fuck is
Throw
happening?
balls of fire.
Yeah.
It
and-
literally says throw balls of fire. It doesn't say throw fireballs. It says throw balls of fire.
Yeah. And the great anthem. The one that sounded like it should be in, I want to say like a truck stop in like reservation country, maybe, where you've got like random trinkets and junk. Like it sounded like this would be on the shelf along with Sail Away, Sail Away, the Sub-Zero one, where it was like Chinese Ninja Warrior, Sub-Zero. Oh man.
Good Lord, that's exactly how it sounds in the song too.
Oh, because it was it's stuck in my head. So Meg
Give it
and
to
I
us again, one more time, Tony.
Chinese Ninja Warrior, Sub-Zero. So Meg and I discover this fuckery in her car on the drive up to see some friends in LA like a month ago, and I'm just dying. I'm like, what is this? I can't. My brain is exploding.
But we also we didn't want it to stop, but we wanted it to stop so badly. With like, please, like, I can't unhear this.
Oh, I remember exactly when we stopped. It was when we hit Sonya Blade. It had to be like track 7 or something. So
yeah, I think that's
like,
where I stopped too.
Sonya, and it sounds like some aerobicized, like, and like it's practically like, my name is Sonya and I'm here to say.
Oh god, like I'm familiar with shitty like trance and techno from the 90s. I listened to that a lot when I was younger, so I could get behind the tracks. But then the moment the moment the vocals start, it's just all fucking downhill.
Yeah, because some of them were like, okay, this is a decent beat, like I could listen to this while working out or something, but then they start
The vocals.
Then it gets ruined by the vocals.
Yeah. Oh god. But yeah, so we were subjected to that. So of course we had to subject you to it after we were hanging out at Dirt Dog for your birthday dinner. And yeah, leaving that Meg she was like gonna piss herself as we were leaving the parking lot, and then you cut us off just so you can give us the like disappointed shake of your head.
So we give it to you. And we start driving away, and I was like, man, I really wish we were like riding with you so we could experience this like moment of you hearing this for the first time. And then your car pulls up, and the look of sheer like, I am going to fucking murder you on your face was so
How
perfect.
could you? How could you do this to me?
And then every time our cars lined up, your fucking face.
Oh my god.
Oh, it was worth it, Todd, just to see that.
I tried to I tried to like just for the sheer embarrassment of it all, I tried to blast it out of my car speakers with the windows down. But then the moment other cars started pulling, I was like, nope, I can't do this. I can't do this. Rolled back up, turned the volume back down.
But now it is your responsibility to share this fuckery with someone else.
Yeah, you must
I
pass it
will
on.
find somebody to pass this on to.
Pass the
Danny
curse
or something.
It's like a curse that you have to just pass on to someone else,
Yeah.
so you shake it off. Oh God. Well,
That
other
was
than
so
that,
magical.
yeah, other than that, Meg and I had a fun week this past week. We went to, it was last Monday, was it? No, Tuesday. We went out for, well, first off, we went to our first movie theater watching experience since 2019. And that was for A Quiet Place 2, which if you have not watched A Quiet Place, I highly recommend it. The first one's on Hulu right now, actually. But if you're a horror fan, if you like scary movies, this is the one written, directed by John Krasinski, starring John Krasinski and his wife, Emily Blunt. Thank you.
Wait, John Krasinski is actually in it? He's not in any of the trailers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's in it. He's the main person.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
cool,
he's
because all of the trailers show like Emily Blunt and kids.
Oh, so that's the second one. So avoiding
Yeah.
spoilers.
Okay.
Yeah, he's mostly in the first one. Mostly.
He is in the second one, but not as much.
Yeah. But yeah, it's fucking awesome. Highly recommend that. And that was definitely one to see in the theaters. It's one of those scary movies where it's like the sound. Well, literally it's in the title of the thing, A Quiet Place, and it's not so much like it does the jump scare sort of thing, but not like to a cheesy extent like a lot of shitty horror movies do these days. It's hard to explain without giving anything away, but it's baked into the plot why most of the time everything is silent.
The audio and the whole quietness of the film is very much its own character.
Yeah.
In the movie. And it's just like, it's so brilliant.
Yeah, it's extremely well done. The first one and the second one. Thankfully, I was curious if it would live up to the first one, and the second one definitely did, in my opinion. And they're already talking about developing a third. However, apparently John Krasinski said he's not going to be involved in that one. So somebody else is going to take over, I guess, writing, directing. So I don't know if that will live up to the first two, but we'll see. But we did that. And we found out that Tuesday matinees. Well, it said matinee, but it's not even mornings. This Regal over here in Garden Grove, they have $5 Tuesdays
Nice.
for their matinees, but the matinee is like at 2 p.m. So you can catch a movie for $5 in the middle of the day at Regal. So that's probably going to be our go-to for more stuff. We want to check out Black Widow, which I heard is now. Huh?
I watched it yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Non-spoilery, not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. It's worth a watch. It's not amazing, super game changing. I'll never watch another Marvel movie without thinking about this one ever again. It's not anything like that, but it was good.
Yeah. I kind of heard like little bits of the same. I'm avoiding spoilers, but just basically the sentiment is like, oh yeah, it's totally solid. Maybe not living up to the hype after being delayed for so goddamn long.
Oh yeah. And it could have been made like 8 years ago and it would have been fine.
Yeah.
Instead of being made now.
So if you rewatch it, you'd probably watch it in actual chronological order as opposed to release order.
Yeah, between Civil War and Infinity War.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like they were cleaning out the closet and like, oh, this is still on the shelf. Yeah, let's pop this one in.
Pretty much.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we did that on Tuesday, and then we actually went down. Brace yourselves. Meg and I actually went down to Huntington Beach. We actually went to the beach.
Jesus Christ. You didn't burn up in the sun?
Meg, surprisingly not.
I had a jacket on the whole time, a hoodie, in fact. So I was like crazy goth girl at the beach with all of the clothing on my...
We're the Portlandia goths at the beach.
Yeah.
The 90-degree beach with the sweater.
It wasn't that hot, to be honest. And with the beach and the wind and everything, it was very pleasant.
It was really comfortable. It was perfect.
The water was very cold at first, but of course, once you got used to it, it was very refreshing, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. On that Main Street drag there, they have it's like their big restaurant row and everything. So it's a fun place on any given time. But throughout the summer, they have on Tuesdays farmers market and like street fair sort of thing. We posted some Instagram video. There was some like kid, I don't know how old he was.
He was
but
6, I believe.
Yeah, a little like violin prodigy. We're sitting there like eating our little tamale, amazing fresh tamales. Oh my god. From one of the farmers market booths, and some little kid comes up and he just starts like jamming out on violin, doing crazy like almost have like Tim Burton-y stuff or like Danny Elfman type stuff, Addams Family type stuff. That was cool. And then this other group that I guess it'd be like a kind of like an upbeat jazz band, I guess you'd call it, but it's specifically the type of music. I told Meg it's exactly the background music for like Ren and Stimpy and SpongeBob, like that sort of jazz where it's the
jaunty tunes,
the fast rhythm guitar, and very loungy, you know. I love it. I love that stuff. What else? We did that, and then other than that, we've just been binging. Well, I told you we flew through all the 2 seasons of The Boys on Amazon Prime, which
nice.
It's fucking brilliant. I love it. It's insane.
Have you watched it, Todd?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
can't wait for season 3.
Yeah.
Which
there's no official release date yet. Although there was some news just a few days ago. They announced. So for anybody listening, if you're not familiar with The Boys, the big evil mega corporation essentially is Vought. I think it's like Vought International or something. And they have their own news network, which is, and the great part about The Boys, it's just a very thinly veiled, thank you.
You can do it, Tony.
Just like parody of everything fucked up in this country. And so they have their Vought news network, which is essentially Fox News. and they created a Vought news network YouTube channel. And so to bridge the story gap and like give you like a little filler details on like where are the superheroes, where are the soups now, or what's going on now and what's going on with this person. They're releasing a little YouTube episode, one every month, up until the release of season 3. So, and they kept harping on the theme of 7 because it's like the 7 is like their Justice League, like the 7 main superheroes. So they're releasing them on the 7th day of every month, and they still haven't expressly set a release date for season 3, but people are assuming it's going to be 7 months down the road, so probably January. So. Probably. Yeah. Then
finally got a release date for The Witcher.
Yes. Yeah, we saw that full trailer finally. December 17th.
Yes.
Yeah. So we got a whole lot of Geralt and Ciri, and then just a quick little, oh hey, Yennefer is actually alive at the very end. And they've been, I guess the other mages have been searching for her. Like it looked like they were just still in that same battlefield where they.
Well, they could be doing like some weird time jumping again. Hopefully
they're
a little bit better at explaining that.
Yeah. Yep. What else? I completely skipped over you. What's your week been, Todd? We were just babbling about what we've been doing. What have you been up to?
My week? I've been at home doing nothing, playing video games. Same shit I do every week since the pandemic. Well, okay. Same shit I do every week since forever.
Since forever.
I was going to say, what does the pandemic have to do with anything, Todd?
Yeah, we were talking earlier before we hit record here. I haven't done any gaming at all in the past week or so. I keep telling Meg, like, I want to dedicate a few nights to gaming just so I can, like, start getting through some shit. I finally finished the main campaign for Doom Eternal, and now I'm on to the DLC.
Nice.
But we just keep getting sucked into our shows. Like it was, the last one was The Witcher, and then immediately after The Witcher, we're like, okay, let's start The Boys. We got nothing else to do, and then we just fell in love with that and just steamrolled through that. And we've got even more. It's a never-ending fucking list. So, yeah.
I've been trying to force myself to play new games or different games and not play the same like 3 games over and over. I finally uninstalled WoW, so that's completely gone.
What?
Yeah,
Wow.
WoW is
Ooh, and what have you
gone.
done to Todd? Next, it'll be Dota.
Maybe
Oh
not
shit!
yet, but I'm trying to play Dota less, so I'm
League of
limiting.
Legends?
No, God, no, I'll never play that game. Uh, I'm playing Dota
EverQuest?
less, so I'm limiting myself to about 10 games per week, and that seems to be an effective limiter that's allowing me to play other games. I've been playing a lot of Warhammer. There's a new expansion and DLC coming up for that recently, and I've been streaming that a lot on right after work, and those have been my successful streams is when I play Warhammer. So I use that mostly as my stream game. But then I also recently reinstalled Lord of the Rings Online, and that's super fun for a 10-year-old MMO. It's actually pretty good and held up pretty well.
Nice.
Did you ever get into the Old Republic? I remember we mentioned on the last episode, or I forget if we did or not, about that 10-year anniversary patch they're doing, or
they have a new expansion coming out for that. Yeah, I played it a bit. Same as Lord of the Rings Online. I played it a bit when it came out, and I picked it up like once or twice here and there after. It's a decently fun, and it's an MMO for you, Tony. There's a lot of single player story alongside the MMO aspects.
All right. Cool.
It's just a ginormous game, just like Lord of the Rings Online has become a ginormous game. I don't think you'd probably like it because there's just so much to it.
This goes on and on and on.
It goes on and on forever. It's the MMO that never ends.
The road goes ever on and on, down from the door. Okay, I'll stop. Well, Nintendo this week finally gave us the announcement that me and Meg have been waiting for. The new Nintendo Switch. Finally.
Was this the one you were waiting for, though?
Well, I don't
Good enough.
Yeah, it's good enough. I mean, yeah, I saw a lot of people were bitching immediately because it wasn't as big of an upgrade as everyone was expecting.
It's not really an upgrade at all. The only difference is it's an OLED screen. That's the only difference.
OLED screen, slightly bigger. I thought I read that the battery performance was supposedly better, and the internal storage is like doubled. I mean, you can still expand it with even more storage, but
well, the internal storage was tiny to begin with. I think it was like 128 gigs or something like that, or it might have been 32 gigs.
Yeah, it was 32 because this one is 64.
Oh wow, but, 64 gigs, so you can get a whole Zelda on there.
And then you can expand it up to like 2 terabytes, I think. So
yeah, you can get an SD card for it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the new Switch model is coming out October 8th. And it'll finally be my excuse to grab a new Switch because that is the same drop date for Metroid Dread.
There you go.
So that's it. It's happening. It's happening. Yeah. Yeah, I think. Oh, yeah. And it has like an improved kickstand because apparently the kickstand sucked on the original.
I mean, you'll never use that. I mean, who actually takes the Switch and sets it on a desk and plays it looking down at that? Like nobody plays it like that. You either hold it up to your face like a degenerate, or you put it in the dock and you play it on a TV.
Right, yeah. It's just so Nintendo can have their cheesy commercials with it like sitting on like a cafe table somewhere while all their friends like excitedly huddle around and pretend that they're playing. Like,
nobody plays fucking split screen on a 5-inch screen.
Yeah,
for fuck's sake.
That's always been their thing. Like for forever and ever now, Nintendo is always about that. They want the they're trying to showcase that like group experience, and everybody's all like excitedly, like doofily, like whoa with the Joy-Cons and looking at this tiny ass screen. But
That's
whatever.
because that's what we grew up doing, because all we had were like Game Boys and shit.
Yeah.
You know, and there was always like 5 of your friends crowding around trying to beat whatever fucking level of Mario.
Well, that's because Super Mario Land on Game Boy was fucking impossible. You needed a whole family to work that shit out. Anyway, what else? I don't think I had anything else for gaming.
Not much gaming wise.
Kind of a quiet week.
Yeah.
We do have to pay some quick respects, RIP, to somebody from the land of movies, director Richard Donner. Director Richard Donner, who did the original Superman, who did the Goonies, who what I love him for is the entire Lethal Weapon franchise, has passed away. He passed away this past week at 91 years old, I think it was.
Damn.
So that's a good long life. Yeah, the man who helped us believe a man could fly, Richard Donner. So raise a glass to him. And in other movie-related news, so this was something that made the internet go crazy for a hot minute. So Hugh Jackman ends up sharing on his Instagram just a single photo of him alongside a very big smiley Kevin Feige, you know, head of Marvel. So that's interesting. And an artist that I've mentioned on the podcast before, he goes by Boss Logic is his handle. I forget what his real name is, but he's like the go-to guy who he got popular over the last several years just making fan art for like all MCU stuff and DC stuff, et cetera, et cetera. And then he started actually getting hired on for like Marvel posters and promo art and shit. So every time he shares something new now, everybody on the internet freaks out because they're not sure if it's him just getting excited and doing fan art, or if he has inside information. So on the same day that Hugh Jackman shares that photo,
didn't he do like a Wolverine version?
Boss Logic releases a new Wolverine like teaser poster where it's just
his forearm and claws.
Yeah, just a single claw.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
People were freaking the fuck out.
Yeah. So
and then also Hugh Jackman retweets that immediately.
So everybody's wondering, is he coming back for another go as Wolverine? Maybe to officially welcome the X-Men into the fold. Who knows?
Or it could be just a multiverse cameo, since we know everything in the next phase is pretty much multiverse related stuff.
Maybe, yeah.
But either way, Hugh Jackman one more ride, one more go at it.
Here's my theory. Ryan Reynolds demanded it. He said, "I'm not doing Deadpool 3 unless we get Hugh."
Watch, he'll probably just be sitting in like a bar again or something.
It'll be the Days of Future Past cameo.
Yeah, they just like, oh, excuse me, fuck off, and that's it. Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I would be totally fine with that. He can be the new Stan Lee. Just pop in, at a bar, just randomly in the background. Just do that.
And use your one fuck per PG-13.
Yep, that's it. Reserve your fucks for Hugh. I think this is another one in the rumor mill, but I saw a headline that, we've been talking about Charlie Cox, our beloved Matt Murdock Daredevil, who was supposedly spotted around the Spider-Man No Way Home filming. But the headlines now are saying that he's the insiders are saying that he's confirmed for at least 2 MCU appearances. So
nice.
We'll see.
And also interesting news, the MCU is no longer, Kevin Feige has said the MCU is no longer doing big long contracts like it used to. So how they
Yeah.
had contracted like all of the original Avengers for say 10 movies, it is
Yeah.
no longer doing that. So they're developing organically like one to two or three movie deals.
Yeah. That's probably that's probably a good move. I mean, they started initially with those like tentative plans, but they were still kind of making up a lot as they went, like solidifying things. But they had like sort of a somewhat of a basic battle plan, but leaving room for things to change based on.
Well, weren't the actors getting frustrated too? Like Captain America guy, what's his name? Chris Evans was like getting winded and tired of doing Cap.
Yeah, after like 7 or 8 years of that, and he was kind of like,
Because that's a lot on their bodies too, because they have such like a regiment that they have to uphold.
yeah, and wanting to move on to other creative projects. I think
Yeah.
he was looking into maybe like going into directing at some point, and then after a while he kind of came around, and I think once they probably what they did, they probably came to him like, here's like the set plan, like we're gonna lead up to this Infinity War thing, and then you'll be done. And he probably went like, okay, yeah, that's like, I'll definitely stick around for that.
Also, the $1 billion he's probably made
Yeah.
from that deal.
Probably that, yeah, the dump trucks full of cash that they just back up to these people's houses. Speaking of one more for Marvel, we got a trailer for the What If show, the What If series. Did you catch that?
Yes, it looks
Yeah.
really good.
That looks fun. I was excited to see the Marvel zombies from those books.
Yes.
Yeah, that Cap zombie on that looked rad.
And it's the last appearance of the original actor for Black Panther.
Chadwick Boseman, yeah, posthumous. Yeah, he finished his lines before he passed away. Which, yeah, I didn't catch who. I know it's not all the original voices. That definitely wasn't Robert Downey Jr. It was somebody with a higher pitched voice.
They recast Robert Downey Jr., Benedict Cumberbatch, and also the chick that plays Captain Marvel.
Oh, Brie Larson.
Brie Larson,
So,
yeah.
is it like animated or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little
I didn't watch
animated.
it, so.
It's a little animated show. It's coming August 11th.
Okay.
But it's the What If.
I know what if is.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
You don't need to mansplain it to me.
I don't need a Tony explain. Meg, comic books are like, nope, get out, fuck you. Honestly, that's all the headlines I dug up. I didn't really make much time for them. I don't know if there's anything else you had in the tank, Todd.
Not much. There was there's little Twitter frenzy going around. Clark Gregg retweeted the What If trailer and made a comment or something on it, leading to speculation. Maybe Coulson is finally in that, at least.
Probably, and yeah, most likely. I wouldn't see why not. That'd be fun.
But it's What If, so it's not the official universe, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I mean, always have
Just
time
having Clark Gregg is amazing.
Yeah, always more time for more Clark Gregg. I caught up on the Bad Batch. We got the new episode, which was a fun little side story. It was barely the Bad Batch, actually.
Yeah, just tangentially related.
Yeah. So so basically the framing of Hera's parents, Hera Syndulla from Star Wars Rebels, of course.
Yeah, we had Chopper. We had a little backstory of them during Rebels. There was a couple of episodes with her father, but I don't think we ever saw her mother in Rebels. So now we're getting more of the backstory of her origins, basically.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. You see a younger version of her with her original accent, which is basically French, I think.
Apparently, aristocratic Twi'leks are French now.
Yeah. What's their planet? Ryloth.
Ryloth.
Yeah.
Ryloth is the planet. The race is Twi'lek.
Right. So Yeah, so young Hera and Chopper are spying on the Empire because they're putting in new facilities and everything, and get caught, and then her was it her Uncle Gobi is like gun running or grabbing weapons. Since the Empire's taken away all the weapons, he sets up a meeting to go get some more. And who's his contact? The Bad Batch. So they get to meet them. Young Hera and Omega buddy up, and she's showing around the ship, and she's all they really honed in on her like whole like wanting to fly, because she's like enthralled by all the new
Yeah,
shit.
every 5 seconds, it's her staring at birds, saying
Yeah.
how she wants to fly.
Yeah, and then she sees their ship. I've never seen one that like that before, and so Vega shows around and stuff, and then the leader of Ryloth, the senator or whoever, he's basically like 100%. He's all in with the Empire.
Because
And
he's an old greedy bastard that sees them
Yeah.
as his ticket to keep power.
Yeah, so like immediately brands them as traitors, like no trial, they're guilty of treason. I think it was Chopper who goes back to the parents and alerts them, warns them, so then they go to come to the rescue. And then the Imperial guy, the I don't know what his rank is, whatever, but the Imperial officer, it's
An
suspicious
admiral.
because he gives up right away. He's like, oh, we surrender. It's like, okay, some shit's going down. And he what's his name? Crosshair, yeah, is waiting. So he basically snipes the senator, makes it look like Syndulla did it, the general. Syndulla did it. So her parents are captured by the Empire, and she's off. Her and Chopper like just get away, and that's where I think that's just where it ends.
Yeah.
So that's her start into the rebellion, I guess.
So I'm expecting the Bad Batch is going to come rescue her and fly off and take her to. I don't know where they'll take him, because we know Hera hasn't met Ahsoka yet. And she hasn't met Rex yet, so she'll get her introduction into the rebellion through somebody else.
How many more episodes are there in this season?
I don't know. Not too many. I would guess no more than maybe 5, because I think it was supposed to be like a 16 episode season or something like that, and I think we're on episode like 10 now.
All right.
Can't be much more.
Yeah. It's funny. D. Bradley Baker, who of course does the voice of all the clones and like a million other voice acting gigs, but it just cracks me up now because I feel like I've just been seeing his name everywhere, because I've been keeping up on the Bad Batch, and Meg and I just binged like all of Avatar and Legend of Korra, and he does voices on there. He actually did a lot of the animal voices, so I don't know how familiar you are with Avatar, but the big like flying bison thing that he rides, all the grunts and roars and blah, that's all D. Bradley Baker. That's just funny. Anyway, I don't think I had much else except our penultimate episode of Loki.
Oof.
Oh, fuck, that was good.
Oh, much.
Yeah.
So much goodness.
You want to get into the deep dive?
Yeah, let's go.
Do it.
Break it down for us, Tony.
Here we go. So, where we last left off with that glorious mid-credits scene, because of course, in these Marvel Disney Plus shows, you get the little taste of credits and then 100 years of credits. So in between there, they gave us the little mid-credit sequence where Loki isn't dead. He's been pruned. That's the word. Yeah. Pruned with the glowy stick, but he's not dead. Wakes up in some weird post-apocalyptic hellscape, like a destroyed New York somewhere, surrounded by other Lokis. Who did we have? We had amazing Richard E. Huh?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, Richard E. Grant Loki,
which is old Loki.
Yeah, like classic comic Loki.
Classic Loki, yeah.
Yeah. We had there was a black Loki who had
Boastful.
Boastful Loki.
Yes.
Is his official name? Okay. Actually, yeah, I do remember seeing that I had the captions on. But yeah, he's got a hammer. I don't know if it's supposed to be another version of Mjolnir, but it's a golden hammer. It's a Hammer Time Loki. Kid Loki, who is apparently the king of the kingdom.
King Loki.
Yeah, the King Loki. And then Alligator Loki, because why not?
Because it's amazing.
Yes. So yeah, so we pick up right where we left off in this episode. So Loki wakes up in the apocalyptic middle of nowhere, and there are Easter eggs abound.
Every fucking where.
I couldn't even like bother like trying to write stuff down, but Todd, you pointed one out pretty immediately, like right after.
Yeah, before you even see Loki, they do this shot where it's zooming through the hellish landscape that is.
Right, the wreckage of the parts of New York and just wreckage from all over the place.
Yeah, and one of the first Easter eggs that you see is Avengers Tower.
Mm-hmm.
And it's completely destroyed and wrecked and all that, but instead of saying Avengers on Avengers Tower or Stark on Avengers Tower, you see Kang, Queng, or Quen or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's basically one of Kang the Conqueror's alter egos companies. So it's a Easter egg for Kang the Conqueror.
Okay. Gotcha. So yeah, we get the beautiful zoom in shot, or flying above the wreckage shot, until we get back to our hero Loki and all of his doppelgangers. And it's actually a great opening line. I wrote it down. Where was it? Because he's just freaking out. He has no idea what's going on. Like all the questions, like what's this place? What's that thing? Who are you? To which the wonderful Richard E. Grant reply. I know he's classic Loki, but I just love saying his name. Richard E. Grant says, "This is the Void, that's Goliath, and we're his lunch. Come on." So yes, there's a giant glowy cloud monster in the sky. It's basically like a cloud electrical storm come alive.
Smoke monster from Lost.
Monster from Lost, yeah, except without the weird chain sound, which they never fucking explained. With 50,000 other things they just made up. So we just get a quick glimpse of them, and they're like, okay, we're on the run. And we cut back over to the TVA. Sylvie has Ravonna pinned down and asking her all the questions. Who's really behind the TVA? What the fuck's going on? Ravonna's playing dumb. She says she has no idea either. She wants answers herself, blah, blah, blah.
Bullshit.
It's hard to tell if she's lying or not at this point, but she at least cops to knowing, like, hey, Loki's still alive, or he's not dead yet, probably.
Yeah, she explains that they can't actually destroy the matter or time or whatever it is.
Yeah.
What they do is they just send it to the end of time where it gets devoured.
Yeah, the void at the end of time. And she says she can help her get there if you trust me. Okay. Then back. Yeah, I'm back in the void. Loki is freaking out.
They're doing their little Lord of the Rings walk through the void there.
Yeah, and he's sick of it. He's just like, no, I got a million questions. I love it because this is one of my favorite things. It's like a certified 1980s Tom Hanks freak out. Like, especially in his 80s comedies where it's like, what the hell's going on? What's that thing? What's going on? It's that. Loki is doing that. Where he's like, who are you people? Where the hell are we? Like, this is so messed up. Like, there's an alligator here. I didn't even find it all that strange. Like, so the Lokis explain that it's the TVA's dumping ground, basically, for everybody and everything, similar to what Ravonna just explained to Sylvie. And Goliath, big smoke monster, makes sure that nothing gets out. It just consumes.
Except the Lokis, because they're Lokis.
Yeah.
We do what we survive is the cheesy line that they bring up. The reason that there's so many Lokis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so they've been there long enough. They're like, no, like, stop even trying to formulate a plan. It's hopeless. Like, just fucking quit right now. Like, we've been through this whole thing. Just stop.
We all go through it. Every one of us that comes here goes through it.
Yeah. Nobody has a temp pad to get them out of there. They can't make a Nexus event because it's the void. No one cares. And, they're done. So let's just go, hide out somewhere. Oh yeah. And then Kid Loki, turns out he's officially the king. Because he's like, why are you like taking orders from this guy? I'm like, no, he's the king.
And then
so
the reason why he's the king is he killed his Thor.
Right. Yeah. So we go to their underground clubhouse, man cave, whatever, which has like, it looks like part of like
It looks like a bowling alley.
I think part of it is. I think there's like a bowling alley. I think there's part like his throne looks like a Christmas nightmare from a mall or something, like where you go to see a mall Santa. Oh yeah, but as we're climbing down to this, their Fallout vault, basically.
Oh, before we get to that, we missed one cameo as they were walking through the wasteland.
Oh yeah.
Through the wasteland?
Yes, the one big thing that was on the ground as they were walking through the wasteland.
Oh, Thanos copter.
We got fucking Thanos copter.
Yeah, again, with all the Easter eggs, I'm like, what the hell? I see that, like a helicopter with Thanos on the tail. I'm like, the fuck is this?
Well,
and
there was also Frog Thor too.
we're getting to that.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is before they go to underground.
Sorry, my bad.
But yeah, so I'm like, seriously, there's a Thanos copter? And I looked it up, and yeah, sure enough, in the comics, and maybe way back in the 70s, I want to say.
Yeah, it was like the 70s.
There was a story where Thanos was, I think he had to get something back from some low-level person in New York or something. And he's investigating he's flying over the streets of New York in a helicopter, and it's like Thanos goofily, like a big and tall person in a Pinto. But inexplicably, he's like tricked out his name on the tail of the helicopter. Like, it is the official Thanos copter.
And
like,
it's a bright fucking yellow helicopter too. So it's like you can't miss it.
It's so dumb.
It is so 70s, it's perfect.
It is, yeah. And on that same theme, as they're climbing down to their little underground vault, man cave, whatever, we get one of those cartoonish, like Looney Tune style shots where we're seeing through the ground as they're going down.
The layers of debris.
Yeah, layers of debris. And we come across, your eye first catches a Mjolnir in there from some reality. Like, oh, cool. And then something moving right to the side of it. So there is a glass jar buried underneath the ground alongside Mjolnir, and a tiny something in there trying to break free. Turns out it is a frog version of Thor. Thor frog, essentially, which
Brokey.
is also... Huh?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, which is also from a comic story in which Loki transformed Thor into a frog just to fuck with him, and eventually frog version of Thor like builds a little army, I think of like with rats or something at his command, and like attacks back. And I think there was even further like spin-off comics. They just like kept using that frog version of Thor for a while. He went on his own little adventures.
Yeah, he stayed as a frog.
Yeah. And I thought I saw a headline where Chris Hemsworth actually did record some brief little lines for that little moment, because originally I believe it was one of the producers, or maybe it might have been the director of the episode, they said originally that was going to be expanded on. They had more footage of actually Frog Thor kicking Loki's ass. It was going to be one of the snippets in the in like the timeline theater that he gets shown of like the different versions of his reality and whatever. So there was more footage. There was a full like little bit of that where he gets his ass kicked by Frog Thor, but
release the frog cut.
Yeah. Seriously. But they cut it for time and pacing. They're like, it was like a goofy moment in what was supposed to be a more serious moment. It's like it didn't really work well, but damn. But yeah, so they go down their little clubhouse. We see Frog Thor. Oh, and then we go back to the TVA again. Ravonna is telling Miss Minutes to look up the files on the beginning of time and creation of the TVA so they can get to the bottom of stuff. But Sylvie says, no, what about the like the void? And Sylvie basically works out that the timekeepers or whoever is behind the TVA, if they wanted to be completely off the radar, they must be hiding beyond the void, because whatever happens there isn't written yet. It's just a new timeline. There's no nexus events, whatever. So therefore, if you want to be completely off everyone's radar, that's the place to be. And Ravonna, of course, says, oh, there's no way to get beyond the void. No, it's like, and she says, let's go through it. No, that's a death sentence. You're crazy. And she's like delaying, giving more excuses. And Sylvie's like, okay, well, I guess I don't need you alive anymore. And then Miss Minutes goes, oh, wait, what about the void spacecraft? Like, very convenient. Yeah, the spaceship that could get us beyond the void we've been working on. And they're just stalling until the goon squad shows up, and they corner Sylvie, and but then she very pretty quickly figures out, like, well, I know how to get to the void pretty quick, and she stabs herself with the pokey stick.
Which is funny, because while we were watching it, as soon as they were talking about how to get to the void, I told Tony, I was like, why isn't she just prune herself? Like,
yeah, we both
come on. And then they end up doing that.
Yeah, we both
told it.
Saw it coming, but it was still a cool moment. And meanwhile, all the Lokis are hanging out in their man cave, telling stories about their timelines, their nexus events. Boastful Loki claims to have killed Iron Man and Captain America and collected all the Infinity Stones before the TVA showed up and grabbed him. And but our Loki is more interested in classic Loki, because Richard E. Grant, like, basically, dude, how did you get to be an old man? Because I've seen our future. Like, Thanos is supposed to kill us, right? So this Loki he specializes in magic. He like considers himself like the grand sorcerer type. He's like, oh yeah, you get to play with your daggers or whatever, but they don't look so hot when they're like clacking to the ground while you're being choked out. So apparently when his Thanos attacked, he was able to conjure up such a perfect projection of himself that it even fooled Thanos. So Thanos believed that he killed him and snapped his neck. And after they blew up the ship, he just floated off into space along with the debris, and then just fucked off. He was like, well, I'm just taking myself out of the equation. And he found some distant remote planet. He ended up on Tatooine, basically, just living out his days until he was an old man. And then Loki's like, well, how did you get caught? Like, what happened? He's like, I got lonely. I missed my brother. I missed Thor. I wonder if he missed me. But he said the second I tried to step off that planet, boom, TVA shows up. Of course.
That sucks.
Yeah. So Loki's had enough of like all these sad sacks, and he's like, no, you know what? We're getting the fuck out, or I'm getting the fuck out of here. He makes his rousing speech trying to motivate them to help him kill Eliath and get out of there. And they just fucking laugh in his face.
They look serious for just a moment,
yeah.
And then they break out laughing.
Yeah. And again, I love Richard E. Grant, his entire performance, because him with the classic like Loki outfit, which is almost like court jester. He's like a little kid. He falls back in his seat and he's like wrapping himself in his cape. It's like, so great. Anyway. So he's like, oh, fuck you guys. And he's just leaving the vault, and as he's climbing up there, he's greeted by more Lokis, including a straight up replica of Tom Hiddleston Loki and his like Mad Max style gang ready to take over the hideout. So it's like, oh god.
Which is another Easter egg, by the way, because he's got a vote for Loki button on, and that's a rip out of the comic books where he essentially tries to become the president of America.
Yeah, and that's how he's credited here as President Loki. So again, bouncing back to the TVA. So, oh no, we're back. We're in the void, just elsewhere, because Sylvie wakes up in the void, and she's like right in the storm. She's in danger mode. So she's running to get out of there, and she ends up getting some kind of vision at some point.
She gets touched by a tendril of the of
Goliath,
Alioth.
yeah, the storm. So she gets some vision of some sort of like building or structure beyond the void. She's like, oh, okay, so that's where to go. And looks like she's about to be devoured, but a pizza delivery car comes a honking to the rescue.
One that looks suspiciously like the Pizza Planet delivery car.
Yeah. No, wasn't it always a truck? It was a pickup truck, I think. Pizza Planet.
Okay, yeah, it was a pickup truck.
Yeah.
But it had the giant pizza slice on top.
Yeah, it was beat up enough it could be in their fleet for sure. That's official canon now. But yeah, of course we know who this is going to be. Mobius.
Fucking Mobius.
Yes, Time Dad. He's alive. So they get away.
It'd be funnier if he was riding in on a jet ski.
He comes in on a jet ski. Yeah. So back in the bunker, man cave, fallout vault, whatever. Boastful Loki reveals that he betrayed the Kid King Loki and led the gang there because they were going to help him take over the place and then he can be king himself. But the head of the Loki gang goes, the president Loki goes, aha,
but what if we don't?
What if we don't? And it just turns into a predictable shit show of all of them being the fucking Loki backstabbers. Yeah, the worst kind of Lokis. And so the gang turns against the president Loki.
They're just being themselves.
Yeah.
Before they start fighting, though, there's a cool scene with Croc Loki. Croc Loki literally jumps onto President Loki and just bites his fucking hand off.
Yeah, so that's the funniest thing about this scene, because like they're all doing the predictable shit that they do, is betraying each other, and they're all so surprised about it. Like boastful Loki is like, "What? No, you said I was gonna be king." President Loki's like, and then all of his goon squad like raises arms against him. He's like, "What? But you thieves, you blah blah, you knaves," whatever he says, and he's all in his huff. He's like, "Why the hell's an alligator here?" They're like, "He's a Loki," and then it just goes up, rips his hand off, and he's screaming, and all hell breaks loose. And then our Loki and his friends escape through a portal that classic Loki conjures up. So they get out there, like back into the middle of nowhere. And he's just a classic Loki. He's just like, oh, he's so sick of it. He's bemoaning like the fate of all Lokis. We're all just animals. We're all broken animals. We can never change. And Kid Loki is like, oh yeah. And when one of us even dares try to fix ourselves, they get stuck here. And our Loki is like, well, that's exactly why we have to get out of here. Like nothing can change until we take down the goddamn TVA. And Sylvie is their chance. So they're like, okay, we'll help you, but Alioth is a death sentence. We'll get you close, but then you're on your own. And then Mobius and Sylvie, they're on their little road trip and making amends, and they're all heading to the same spot. So but they get their nice little moment where Mobius is apologizing for hunting her, and then Sylvie's like telling him, no, we got to go back to the big angry cloud. Like that's the key to getting out of here, or getting to whoever the real timekeepers are, basically. Then our Lokis are also on their way to Alioth, but then suddenly an entire freaking battleship and its crew get pruned and like appear right in front of them. And judging from the outfits and the ship, like maybe World War II era, I think.
Yeah, World War II, I think.
Yeah. And there's a cool scene. So Loki figures, oh, this is perfect. Like because Alioth is probably like any hunting animal, he'll go for the big meal first, the battleship. And while it's busy with that, they can sneak around the back. Oh, wait, it gobbles up the entire ship in seconds. Never mind. But there's a cool moment there where the crew's still fighting. They're like, they just see, oh, big freaking monster. And they're firing at it and everything. But yeah, it's pointless. They just they dissolve in front of their eyes. Then the car shows up and everybody's reunited and it feels so good.
Apparently, so just a quick side note that that battleship that shows up is the USS Eldritch, and that is a real ship that disappeared.
Oh, nice. That's cool. I like how they're doing they're using little things from real, like the DB Cooper bit, you know. But yeah, so Mobius and Sylvie catch up, and everybody's reunited. Loki explains that they're trying to figure out how to kill Eliath, and she's like, "Oh, that was your plan? Kill it? God, you're dumb!" Like, and so her thing is like, "Look, that's the guard dog protecting the door to get out of here, right? So I'm going to enchant it and get it to show us the door." Which sounds equally insane, but whatever. So now we finally cut back to the TVA, and Ravonna has Hunter B14, I think it was Hunter BB8
Yes.
locked up, and they have a little back and forth. Ravonna's calling her disloyal and blah blah blah, and B14, she's like, who should we be loyal to? Like, did you not see, like, you were there, timekeepers are fake, you know, they're a freaking Chuck E. Cheese band. And Ravonna's like, that doesn't change anything. Like, she has drank the Kool-Aid hardcore, like, even though the timekeepers are Chuck E. Cheese bots, like, she doesn't care, she's still towing the company line. And she wants to know anything that B14 learned from being linked with Sylvie, you know, like where's her head at, what's her game. And she realizes that Ravonna isn't actually trying to protect the timekeepers. She really does just want to know what the hell's going on, who's all behind this. So Ravonna goes, she doesn't get anything out of her, so she just goes out of there in a huff and tells Miss Minutes to start digging up those files, the beginning of time, the creation of TVA, all that stuff. And even Miss Minutes seems to be hesitant, like, oh, that's a tall order there. Probably like built-in programming to keep those secrets. But Ravonna convinces her by saying, like, hey, whoever created this place is in danger, so I need to know how to reach them first. So now we go back.
Manipulation.
Yeah. So we go back to the Void, and this is the team having some downtime before the big finale. Some campfire downtime.
The bonding time.
Yeah. Mobius getting to know the other Lokis, wondering if the alligator really is an alligator Loki or not. He's like, I don't remember.
You don't remember?
Yeah. And then Loki and Sylvie getting all nice and cozy like a pair of high schoolers who don't know how to make a move. But it is really sweet. And
awfully cold out here.
Yeah. And Mobius has his theory about our Nexus event, what caused it. Like, no, crazy, right? No, yeah, it couldn't be. No, it was a nice moment, but you know, it's crazy. It's more TVA lies, probably, whatever. But I mean, it does make sense for her, like the social awkward. She even says, like, I don't know how to do this. Like, she doesn't know how to be a person. Yeah, because she's been on the run like literally her whole life. She has zero friends or anything. And she ends up asking him how do I know you won't betray me at the last minute? And he says a nice little thing about how he knows the person he was, and that's not him anymore. And which is basically what we've been waiting for through this show, because we know, like we said in the beginning, like how is this show going to ingratiate us to this version of Loki, who was just fresh off of like slaughtering civilians in New York? Like, this isn't our OG Loki who went through all that growth and eventually made amends with Thor and everything, and, you know, sided with him. This is like Loki still being shitty. So he's finally come full circle on his own unique journey, which is great. But yeah, and then the inevitable, well, what will you do? Where will you go once this is all over? And well, maybe we can figure it out together. But then, of course, big bad storm arrives. Everybody looks dramatically into the distance, including a shot for Gator Loki. Which is, I mean, if he's Gator Loki, does that just make him Florida Loki at this point? But yeah, that cracked me up. I picked that up the second time I rewatched it because you know, that it's the typical thing, like the storm is in the horizon, and so everybody gets their own like hero shot, like a close-up. Like Mobius looks to the distance, Sylvie does, our Loki, the other Loki, and even they do a moment for the gator too, looking up. But anyway, so Sylvie tells everyone about, you know, the link up she had with Eliath, and that she was getting away, and she saw that mysterious location, so she's going to enchant him and show her to show her the way. She gives our Loki the temp pad she stole from Ravonna, so he can, you know, just escape with everyone else. And of course, no, I'm staying. Like, if you go, I go. Very touching. He's gonna stay with his girl, and he hands off the pad to Mobius. And even the other Lokis say, like, nope, no thanks, we're staying. This is our home now. We've been here forever. Like, we know what we're doing. We're set. We're good.
He's got to go back and get some more ecto cooler.
Yes. And then Kid Loki, in a very King Arthur fashion, like grants Excalibur over to our Loki. He's just like, here, you'll need this on your journey. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. He gives him a master sword.
Which is also another Easter egg, because in certain comics, Loki has a flaming sword, like a named flaming sword.
Okay,
just like
yeah.
Thor has his Mjolnir. Loki has his flaming sword.
Yeah, it's like a golden dagger or a short sword, I guess. But it is pretty dope. And at this point, we don't even know that it's a flaming sword. It's just like, oh, this sweet like golden sword. That's rad. And they have their very sweet goodbye moments. Loki and Time Dad Mobius. Mobius tells him he's gonna burn the TVA to the ground. Awesome. And at this point, I really wanted Loki to just say, "Promise me one thing. When this is all over, you go find yourself a jet ski." But they don't. They hug it out and off he goes. And Sylvie and Loki, they head down to face Eliath, and it is a pretty rad design. I was just like writing like bits of notes here, because you get those rad glimpses of like it's like a flaming ram skull, I think, in a giant purple,
it's some like big
cloud.
monster animal monster head.
Yeah, you don't know like how solid or not it is. It's just kind of like ethereal or whatever. But
it actually kind of reminded me of Breath of the Wild a little bit.
Yeah, it's like a Calamity Ganon. Yeah, very much so. So Loki, at this point, he realizes like they're not gonna have enough time, and he needs to distract it. So he runs off and ignites the freaking flame sword, which is dope. And he's waving Eliath down and come and get me. But it doesn't work.
You can't catch me.
And Elias still goes after Sylvie, and it looks like it's gonna get her, but in the nick of time, what's this? A giant green glow off to the side, just off screen, and we see motherfucking MVP Richard E. Grant, classic Loki, and he is manifesting an entire fake Asgard. Just an entire...
all of it, the entire palace, the Rainbow Bridge, the entire fucking thing.
Everything. So he does that. That does the trick, and that gives our Loki and Sylvie time to link together, and with their powers combined, enchant Eliath. And it's
not before though. He has one final moment where the enchantment is crumbling, and he's fallen to his knees, and he looks at the face of death bearing down on him, and just starts laughing.
Yep.
Laughing in the face of death.
First shouting, glorious purpose! And then, just breaking down into maniacal laughter. And it's joyous and heartbreaking. And on second viewing, I choked the fuck up. It's just, oh God. Best
so good.
Guest appearance, like, fucking ever. So classic Loki sacrifices himself in goddamn glorious fashion, and in the nick of time the enchantment works. The purple cloud monster goes green, the clouds part, and we see some kind of structure, a castle maybe, beyond the void, and our Loki and Sylvie start walking towards it, and roll credits. Ugh. Damn. Ugh.
God, we gotta wait 3 more days to find out how it ends.
I know. Oh man. Okay, what do we know for sure? I mean, they have to succeed in tearing the place down because we're getting Doctor Strange and the multiverse of madness. So the multiverse is getting reignited somehow.
We've also had multiple references to Kang, and we know Kang is coming in other
in
Marvel
Ant-Man,
properties, and Ant-Man
Ant-Man 3,
specifically, he's been
for sure.
announced.
Yeah, Quantumania.
So it wouldn't be, the odds wouldn't be too high for it to be Kang in the castle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It could be his introduction.
Yeah. Theories for our heroes. Do you think Loki and Sylvie are going to walk off into the sunset together? Do you think we're going to get some sort of situation where one of them, maybe somebody's going to have to sacrifice themselves?
It's Loki. It'll have to have a tragic ending.
Maybe
there won't be a happy ever after on this one.
They can never be. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Wouldn't that be?
I don't think Sylvie will survive.
Yeah, maybe she'll be the tragic death. Maybe she gives herself for whatever, spacey, timeliney situation. Something's gonna happen where they can't stay together for some reason. Like whether it's somebody has to lay down their life, sacrifice, make the sacrifice play, or they're just like trapped in alternate worlds or something. I don't know.
I think it might be the other way around. I think they might actually kill off Hiddleston because, like the rest of the Avengers, he's been there. He's been Loki for like 10 fucking years.
True. Yeah. Maybe that's kind of completes his arc, becoming a hero and going out in his own fashion, as opposed to just getting nerfed by Thanos.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he does it for someone he cares about. And so she finally gets to stop running and, live her own life.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, if they want to include more Loki stories in the future, I've been maintaining the secret project that they announced, but they haven't told anything about. I still maintain that's going to be Young Avengers. And with all of the extra cast, we have Kate Bishop on Hawkeye, we have America Chavez, we have all that good stuff, and now we have Kid Loki here. So Young Avengers makes sense as maybe one of the next setups that they could be doing. So if they want to continue Loki stories, they'll have young Loki, they'll have Sylvie if they need her.
In a bunch of different directions from this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another thing.
Like young Sheldon, young Loki.
Oh God. Yeah. Yep, I'm excited. I wonder if at all, if they'll bridge anything over to Thor: Love and Thunder. Like, let's say by some miracle Loki does survive this, maybe in Thor: Love and Thunder, even if it's just an after credits cameo, does he time portal in and make his way to New Asgard and reunite with his brother?
Maybe, if he survives.
Maybe. I mean, part of this. Oh, go ahead.
There will be some connection. There will be some It's Marvel, so the end credit scene after Loki ends will be some connection to the bigger universe. Yeah. It's just the way it has to be.
Yeah. And, part of the themes that they've been talking about and how his fate has always been sealed and everything. I mean, the sacrifice play does seem highly likely. They'll just give him his out in a triumphant, heroic way. But maybe also could be, with the changing of his destiny and everything, now he's finally in control of it. Maybe they actually for once give him a win and he actually gets to live. Like he's gone through his whole journey and he actually does get to,
gets to fly off into the sunset on the Thanos copter.
On the Thanos copter, yes. Along with Frog Thor. He's just dug up the jar and they're just pals now. And the alligator. Bring him too.
And the alligator, yeah.
Yep.
As long as they don't try to eat each other.
Yep. Jeez. Sweet. All right, well, that's all I got. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Yep.
Good episode, good series. I think it's the best of the Marvel shows yet.
I agree.
Like I really loved WandaVision, but this one's doing it for me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that WandaVision was terrific, but it was also, in the long run, a downer. Really.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
it was an amazing dramatic piece, and it's crazy that they were able to go so serious and dramatic with a wacky comic book story. But that was the point of it all, and it was a whole show about dealing with loss and tragedy and grief and everything, and
inflicting mass terror on an entire city of people.
Yeah, Jesus, yeah. Where this show is kind of the opposite. A character who has been trapped in a cycle of tragedy his entire existence or multiple existences is finally breaking free of that and going his own way. So it's a more of a feel good at the end, I believe.
That's bringing me more around the fact that like Loki's entire history is tragedy and tragic and just mean-spiritedness. Maybe they will give him a happy ending.
Maybe, yeah. Just let him ride off into the sunset.
Just break the habit.
Yeah. Give him that last crusade perfect ending, and then never speak of Loki again. Don't come
until
back
he finds a crystal skull.
No, don't do it. All right, guys. I think it's about enough of that. Thank you for joining. This is Tony.
This is Todd.
And Meg.
Shut up, Meg.
Hey, Meg, what were you up to this week?